Rebecca Lobo. Rebecca Lobo this past Sunday, Indiana Fever versus Dallas Wings on ESPN. When it comes to announcers speaking out, this might have been the most outspoken announcers have been when it comes to the egregious officiating, but more importantly, the non-calls. When Caitlin Clark is getting grabbed, getting held, getting yanked, getting hugged, getting hacked. Rebecca Lobo said, okay, Sunday, July 13th, I'm going to make sure it's my mission that when I start calling this game, I start calling a spade and holding these referees to the fire.
Did Ryan Ruocco and Rebecca Lobo just accidentally put the WNBA refs on blast live on air? Because what started as casual game commentary quickly turned into a full-on truth bomb. They called out how Caitlin Clark is getting fouled like she's in the WWE, while the refs are out here acting like they didn't see a thing. It was quick, blink, and you might have missed it. But don't worry, we caught everything. So buckle up, because this broadcast just turned into a courtroom showdown, and someone might be getting benched for good.
She's a superstar.
Let's roll the tape.
Control her.
And finally, they're saying the quiet part out loud. It's a little bit hard to see. She's literally grabbing her arm. It's insane, and none of that was called. Finally, at the end of the one play, they called the foul because it was like indisputable. I mean, she got whacked on the arm and then gets hit to the ground. But they weren't going to call any of the other fouls leading up to it. I mean, this is what Caitlin Clark...
It's not just Caitlin Clark, but somehow it's always Caitlin Clark. Every single game, like clockwork. At this point, it's become as predictable as death, taxes, and WNBA refs pocketing the whistle while she's getting body slammed on a fast break. Fans are literally out here Googling, is Caitlin Clark allowed to get tackled mid-dribble? Like maybe the WNBA dropped a secret rulebook update and forgot to tell us.
Yo, straight calling them out, man. Straight calling them out. And I expected it, you know, because they are straightforward and they speak highly of Caitlin. So when they see the nonsense, man, of course they're going to say something. And I believe most of the commentators should be like that, man. Just keep it real, fam. Keep it real. Call it how you see it. And, you know, whether the WNBA likes it or not, the commissioner likes it or not, Kathy likes it or not, speak your mind, man. That's what people want. They want the truth. So, man, shout out to Ruocco, man. Shout out to Ruocco. Shout out to Rebecca Lobo calling it.
Now let's be clear, yes, other players get fouled.
No drama.
That's part of the game.
Negativity.
But when it comes to Caitlin Clark, there's almost a ceremonial level to the contact she takes. Actually, scratch that, it's not just fouling, it's assault. You've got the entire arena, players, fans, even the broadcast team collectively gasping as she gets hacked, and the refs still chewing that invisible gum, totally unbothered. Caitlin's getting dragged from baseline to baseline like she owes somebody lunch money. Meanwhile, the officials look like they're watching a completely different sport. Maybe underwater polo, maybe dodgeball, but it's definitely not basketball.
New man, Ryan Ruocco, Mr. You Bet himself, and Rebecca Lobo ended up bringing up how players have been getting away with fouling Caitlin Clark live on right here. They're talking about this right here where JJ was holding the arm, okay? Then they're talking about this moment right here too, right? She's reaching through the body, reaching both sides, both arms through the body right here. So they're talking about this one. They're talking about right here on the swat down. It looked like she hit her hand just a tad bit.
And the wildest part? It's not even just happening in the paint. Oh no, that would almost make sense. That would be normal. She's not just getting clobbered in the last 15 feet like a knight charging into a moat of flying elbows. No, Caitlin's getting mugged the second she touches the ball. From inbound to inbound, it's like she's running a 94-foot obstacle course, and the toughest opponent isn't even the defense. It's the officiating, which at this point seems allergic to the laws of basic physics.
It's crazy how Caitlin Clark does not get her foul calls pointed out when they are actually fouling her left and right, all the way from half court all the way down to the basketball hoop. I don't understand how the referees are standing there and they not call the fouls. Her coaches have complained. Even Caitlin Clark gets on the referees of not calling the fouls when she knows there's fouls.
What makes it even more maddening? The inconsistency. Some nights, a light hand check is treated like a felony. Other nights, a forearm shiver to the ribs gets praised as good hustle. One game you're seeing flagrant twos called for a wrist tap, the next, someone literally clotheslines Caitlin Clark WWE style, and the ref just stares at the scorer's table like, did anyone else just see that butterfly? It's not just confusing, it's full-on improv theater. Now imagine being a fan trying to explain this circus to someone new. You sit them down, hype up Caitlin Clark, tell them she's one of the most skilled players on the planet.
The history between
and
these
what
two
do they
is
see?
absolutely toxic.
She gets bulldozed by 3 defenders before she even crosses half court. And the refs?
Probably
Silent.
expecting Clark to just
Not
accept
a
her as
single
coach
whistle.
and move on like nothing
Just pure
happened.
vibes.
Wrong.
Meanwhile,
Clark
the announcers
doesn't
in the
forget, and
booth
she
are
certainly
barely
doesn't
holding it
forgive
together.
during that
Their
live
voices
ESPN
cracking as
broadcast
they
and
try to
said,
stay
"I don't know if
professional
this is in
while
the rules.
visibly
I don't
losing their
really care,
minds.
but we
It's
already
like watching a
discussed we are
live-streamed
going to trade
gaslighting session
coaches.
in real
The
time.
confidence, the
And this is
audacity,
where Ryan
the absolute
Ruocco
boss
and
energy
Rebecca Lobo
radiating
step
from that
in
moment
with
was
absolute
everything
chef's
Clark
kiss
fans
commentary.
have been waiting for.
Because
If you
finally,
are enjoying, please
someone behind the
subscribe.
mic stopped pretending
The
this
New
was
York
normal.
Liberty coach who
They
just
watched
led her team
Caitlin
to
get
back-to-back
folded like a
finals
lawn chair
appearances.
for the
Talk about an
third time
upgrade.
in 2
But here's the
possessions
thing
and
about
basically
champions.
said,
They have long memories.
y'all seeing
Clark
this,
remembered
right?
every
The
single
disbelief in their
slight. Cardello's
voices?
reaction was perfect
It was
too.
everything
Her
fans
teenage
have been
son
shouting
texted
into
her,
the void for
"Mom,
2 seasons.
You got traded."
It was
And she thought the
cathartic.
whole scene was fun,
Like therapy
packed for the
with
All-Star
HD
Showcase.
replays.
The strategy.
You think the old guard, you think the old 46,000 fans had enough of a voice? No, they don't got no voice. The new fans need to speak up. The announcers who aren't scared need to speak up. I'm sure a lot of those old announcers are scared. I'm sure they're scared. But the announcers like Rebecca Lobo, Ryan Ruocco, they need to step up and say, oh, the officiating that's going on here isn't okay. You guys watch this. Quinterly grabbed Caitlin Clark's arm. Like, Caitlin, where you going? Get over here. Oh, that's interesting. Why play defense when we can just grab somebody's arm, right? Interesting. Quinterly putting her hands around Caitlin Clark's waist. Valentine's Day was a few months ago. Sorry.
Because let's be real, this isn't some random rough patch. This has been going on way too long. We're not talking about a bad week or two. This is a full-on multi-season saga. Think Game of Thrones, just with fewer dragons and way more missed calls. And for the fans who've been tuned in since before Caitlin Clark hit the pro stage, it's deja vu, same chaos, just a new jersey number. The only difference now? It's happening in HD on national TV with millions of people watching in stunned disbelief. And let's not kid ourselves, the WNBA knows what's happening. Don't let the silence fool you. They've got the tape, the tracking data, the slow-mo replays. They've got more camera angles than a Christopher Nolan movie. This isn't some ancient mystery that needs decoding. It's officiating, a fixable problem. Standardize what a foul is. Train the refs. Hold them accountable. Maybe even, I don't know, connect their headsets to reality for once. Or here's a wild idea. Just call the obvious stuff. Revolutionary, right? The league says it's chasing growth, respect, visibility. They talk about parity, marketability, all the buzzwords. But none of it means anything if fans are forced to watch their favorite player get hacked 30 times before halftime like it's just part of the warm-up routine. It's like going to a concert where the speakers are busted, but the band keeps playing like everything's fine. At some point, someone has to fix the sound.
Foul as she gets body checked. That's a foul. That's a foul. I mean, it's not only until right now when she's finally whacked on the arm. I'm so happy that the broadcast team finally called it out directly. And it's so insane. And I talked about this in my video where I broke down the whole game. I mean, Enrique clearly fouls her, whacks her. Caitlin Clark gets out. I mean, just even right now, I actually kind of paused it perfectly, not even on purpose. You can see both hands on her body up against her chest. You can't play defense like that. I don't care what random person in the comment section tries to convince you otherwise. That's not defense.
Oh, you've got Caitlyn out there battling through triple teams,
She's done
arms
with the
flying,
politics, the
sneakers
jealousy, and the
screeching,
toxic behavior
getting decked
that has
mid-step,
plagued her
and
journey
the
from
ref
college
is
to the
standing
pro.
6
This team
feet
is built
away,
to win,
just
not
blinking,
just participate.
not
And the
blowing
best
the
part,
whistle,
Clark didn't just
just
randomly assemble.
blinking,
The New York
like
Liberty
they're
coach
trying to
who
process
just led
whether
her team to
contact is even
back-to-back
real.
finals appearances.
Meanwhile,
Talk about an
the
upgrade.
broadcast zooms in
Redirect
as she
attention away
gets
from
shoved
her
into the
historic
scorer's
impact.
table like a human
Bardella's reaction
piñata.
was perfect
The
too.
crowd
Her
groans.
teenage son texted
The announcers
her, "Mom,
flinch.
you got
The slow-mo
traded."
replay
And she thought
shows
the whole
it,
scene was
frame by
fun,
painful
tacked for
frame.
the All-Star Showcase.
Still,
The
nothing.
strategy was brilliant.
Maybe the ref had their
Clark
AirPods
surrounded
in.
herself with
Maybe they're
who
doing
the
a personal
Clark's
no-call
supporters
cleanse.
erupted
Who knows?
when they saw the trade.
And let's be
The history
clear,
between these
this
two is
isn't about
absolutely
giving her
toxic,
special
and Clark
treatment.
finally had
No
enough.
one's saying she
Remember when
needs to
Reed
be
was out
bubble
there
wrapped
tweeting
with a
hashtag
"do not
12
foul"
teams,
sign
hashtag-
taped to her jersey. This is about basic officiating competence. Just call the game fairly. Apply the rules. Consistently. That's literally your job. Is that really too much to ask? Because right now, watching Caitlyn play feels like watching someone hoop in a haunted house. Every 5 seconds, something jumps out at her and the refs act like they saw nothing. And honestly, it's wild when the average fan on Twitter has better foul awareness than the actual professionals in stripes. And don't even start with the rookie treatment excuse. She's not some bench player jogging around, trying to get her minutes. She's Caitlyn Clark. #1 pick. Walking billboard. The reason half these arenas suddenly have waiting lists. Yet somehow, she gets officiated like she snuck into the game with a fake jersey and nobody wants to make it awkward.
Caitlyn Clark does not have a special whistle in the WNBA, unlike some other players. Asia Wilson. Every time you touch Asia Wilson, she's going through the free throw line. And the announcers definitely will say she's one player that gets a lot of fouls called on her, and she goes to that free throw line. Breanna Stewart, she gets a lot of foul called. You touch her,
This isn't about favoritism. It's about credibility. It's about making sure fans don't feel like they're watching chaos disguised as basketball. You can't push parity and progress on one hand and then let your biggest stars get thrown around like dodgeballs on the other. Pick a lane, preferably one where fouls are actually called. And the fact that the TV announcers had to step in and be the adults in the room? That says everything. When they're the ones saying the quiet part out loud, that means the silence from the officiating crew is deafening. They didn't have to say anything, but they did because it was just that obvious. We're all watching the same game. And somehow, the only people who don't see what's happening are the ones holding whistles.
But here's
So
the thing
now,
about
fans
champions.
aren't just
They have
watching for the
long
game.
memories.
They're
Clark
bracing for
remembered
the next
every single
hack-us
slap,
like it's a
probably
sport
expecting
within the
Clark
sport.
to just accept her
Will
as coach
Caitlyn
and
get
move on like
hip-checked
nothing
into a
happened.
Gatorade cooler tonight?
Wrong.
Will someone
Clark
slap
doesn't
her across
forget,
the face
she
and get
certainly
awarded
doesn't
free
forgive.
throws for
Let's be
good
real here.
defense?
This trade
Who
was
knows?
personal.
It's
Clark
a
knew
mystery box of
exactly what
chaos
she was
wrapped in
doing
a
when she
referee
looked
strut.
straight at
And
Nafisa
all
Collier.
anyone's
Oh, the
asking for is
sweet taste
fairness.
of justice.
Not handouts.
The WNBA
Not
All-Star
diva
game just got a
treatment.
whole lot spicier.
Just consistent, accountable officiating. If a foul is a foul for player X, then it should be a foul for player Y. Even if player Y has 3 million followers and a Nike deal. You don't get to ignore bodily harm just because she has a logo behind her name. That's not letting them play. That's letting them get played. So here we are. Again. Watching another game where Caitlyn hits the floor more often than she hits shots, while the refs treat it like she's doing an interpretive dance. But now the announcers are calling it out. The fans are furious. The evidence is stacked like receipts at tax time. And the league? It has a choice. Fix this. Or keep pretending it's all fine while your most marketable star gets turned into a crash test dummy every single night. Because here's the kicker. It's not just Caitlyn. But somehow, it's always Caitlyn. And now we've reached the part where it stops feeling accidental and starts looking strategic. Because if you've been watching long enough and still have the sanity to track the madness, it's almost impossible to ignore the elephant in the arena. It's starting to feel like someone in a boardroom gave the green light to let her get rocked. Like there's a memo floating around WNBA HQ titled, "Let her take hits." It builds character. And the wildest part? The most damning evidence isn't coming from angry fans or unhinged Reddit threads. It's coming live from inside the broadcast booth. Because when Ruocco Lobo, one of the most polished, composed, legendary presences in women's basketball, starts subtly dragging the officiating while still on mic, you know it's bad.
So guys, today we gotta talk about something, and Paige Beckers in an interview literally exposed just how bad the referee's problem is. Like, she just exposed how bad it was in a pre-game interview for the game. I couldn't find the audio part of it, but Ryan Ruocco literally said she had to forget. So basically, she had to relearn how to play defense while fouling. So, you know, everything you learn about defense, how to play while not fouling, how to move your feet, how to do all this. She had to throw out all the good defensive fundamentals that she'd learned. And now she had to learn to go foul.
And then there's Ryan Ruocco. He's trying to keep it smooth, trying to toe the company line. But even he can't believe what he's seeing anymore. You can hear it in his voice every time Caitlin gets absolutely clobbered and there's radio silence from the refs. There's this audible pause, like his brain is buffering mid-sentence. Then he'll let out a quiet, or a disbelieving wow. That's code for, I'd like to stay employed, but come on. He's watching someone get folded like a lawn chair, in real time, and all he can do is narrate the absurdity with polite horror. And Ruocco Lobo? Even more telling. She's not losing her cool. She never does. In fact, Ruocco could probably find a neutral way to describe a meteor crashing through the court during warm-ups. But now, even she's calling the refs out. Not with anger, not with theatrics, but with that calm, devastating teacher voice that says, "You're all failing this test and pretending it's the student's fault." She's not ranting. She's not exaggerating. She's simply pointing directly at the problem, drawing a circle around it with a Sharpie and saying, This is not okay. And let's be honest. If Ruocco Lobo says it's not okay, then it's not okay. Because it's not just that the whistles are late or inconsistent. It's that they're deliberately silent when it's Caitlin Clark. A player could throw a shoulder, an elbow, and a knee all on the same possession, and the refs would just stare into the middle distance like they're pondering the meaning of life. And you know who's noticing? Everyone. Especially the most objective voices in the sport, the ones who are supposed to be calling the game, not calling out conspiracies. But even they can't ignore what's now painfully obvious.